why the games America watches most are supporting the games the world loves best. Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy! Proud sponsors of the 1996 Olympic Games.
Watch tonight on KATU Spirit 2.
Save money on great prom looks for kids.
Tomorrow at 9. On World News tonight, teenagers in trouble. A government report on adolescent pregnancies.
9's coming left.
Cops in trouble. Sheriff's deputies who beat an unarmed man and woman. And a rich man's latest passion. All the photographs he can get his hands on.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. We begin tonight with American children in danger. There are two government reports making news today because they paint a troubling picture of the nation's young people. The youngest are increasingly subject to abuse and neglect at home. And teenagers are increasingly getting pregnant and giving birth out of wedlock. First, the teenagers, and the results of an extensive government survey which documents sexual behavior among teenage girls for the entire decade of the 1980s. It finds that by the end of the decade, among girls 15 to 19, there was a dramatic increase in the number of girls having babies, an 18% increase in very few years. The social ramifications of this are felt everywhere in the nation. First, here's ABC's Rebecca Chase.
The Centers for Disease Control found that towards the end of the decade, birth rates for girls aged 15 to 19 suddenly increased dramatically.
We think that these teen pregnancy rates and birth rates are very alarming.
Researchers found that throughout the decade, abortion rates for teenagers remained about the same. What changed was that more girls were having sex. More teens are using birth control, but there is still a high misuse and failure rate.
They gave me the pill, and I've forgotten to start to take it. We were using condoms.
And you still got pregnant?
Mm-hmm.
Researchers also say that the growing acceptance of out-of-wedlock births contributes to the problem. Teen mothers here in Decatur, Georgia, agree that getting pregnant in high school is now acceptable.
People are used to it, so it's not any kind of a big surprise.
It really wasn't a change because there's so many girls up here that's pregnant now and who already have kids.
In programs like this, where there is a daycare center at the high school, nearly all the teen mothers graduate. But across the country, most teen mothers are more likely to drop out of school and end up in poverty. And that carries a high price tag.
It's been estimated that between 1985 and 1990, an estimated $120 billion in public monies was spent because of teen births.
Today's report underlines the fact that despite years of effort to prevent adolescent pregnancy, teen birth rates in the United States remain the highest among all developed countries. Rebecca Chase, ABC News, Decatur, Georgia.
The other government report about young Americans, which is cause for serious concern, concentrates on a sharp rise in the number of abused or neglected children. These government findings tell us of 1 million children mistreated in some substantial way every year. 53% the children suffered neglect, 26% were physically abused, 14% sexually abused. Moreover, the government points out that this million represents documented cases, that if there were more complete reporting, the number might be closer to 3 million. It is numbers such as these that have led some people to propose radical measures, very radical measures. Here's ABC's Carol Simpson.
You have to raise your hand if you want chocolate milk.
Over the past 10 years, Dan and Nancy Johnson of Madison, Wisconsin, have been foster parents to 17 children, all of them victims of parental abuse, all of them ordered removed from their homes by the courts.
We've had kids that were physically abused. We've had kids that were sexually abused. I think that in most cases, they sort of went along with the parents' alcohol or drug abuse.
With the release of today's government report showing parents responsible for 80% of the abuse inflicted on children, there are calls for drastic action.
I think one of the most powerful things that our society could do would be to license parents.
In his book, Licensing Parents, University of Wisconsin professor Dr. John Westman suggests a radical approach. He says states should set up criteria parents must meet before they can take their baby home from the hospital. They include demonstrating, if they are teenagers, that they are able to financially take care of themselves and the child by having finished school or holding a job. Making a commitment not to abuse or neglect the child, and providing proof they have learned parenting skills in school. If the parent fails to meet the requirements, Dr. Westman believes the child should become a ward of the state until the parent does qualify. If not, the child would be put up for adoption. There are plenty of critics, including lifelong child advocates like Patrick Murphy, the public guardian in Cook County, Illinois.
You're going to have cops giving tickets and hauling people to court and throwing them in jail because they had kids. There's no way it's workable, nor should it be workable.
People on the street had mixed reactions to the idea of licensing parents.
Probably a good idea, because it would guarantee that you wanted the children.
I think it's crazy. I don't think Congress or anyone else should have the right to tell me when it's time for me to have a kid or whether or not I should have a kid.
While licensing parents may be too extreme in idea, it is evidence of the frustration and desire to do something about a problem that is only getting worse. Carol Simpson, ABC News, Madison, Wisconsin.
In a moment, we'll have the other news. In Southern California, a high-speed chase and the officers who lose control. In a moment, the investigation. Also tonight, why one of the richest men in America is buying up a wealth of photographs. And a former president's first day back in the shipyards.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Pepsid AC Acid Controller.
Sausage and onions, and just you wait there, Lydia. Look at these shrimp, huh?
You back making your spicy gumbo again?
Yes, ma'am.
With your heartburn, you'll be up half the night.
Oh, hey, Lydia, I got heartburn licked. With Pepsid AC, I can stop heartburn before it starts.
Before it starts?
Now I can eat like I never had heartburn.
Day or night, nothing is stronger, nothing lasts longer than one tiny Pepsid AC. You can be heartburn-free with Pepsid AC.
Look at that damage.
Where'd I go wrong?
You should have waterproofed. New improved Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofer has more power for more protection. Long-lasting protection. Don't wait till it's too late. Thompson's is protection.
I do 200 dates a year. For 45 years now, I've traveled all over the world, so I've got to stay in shape. Anything that contributes to that works. Nothing like this baby right here.
Equal. No calories, no saccharin.
I'm doing it right.
The FBI said today it is joining the investigation into an apparent case of police brutality caught on videotape. 2 sheriff's deputies in Riverside County, California have been suspended after they were photographed repeatedly clubbing a Mexican man and a woman after a high-speed chase on a freeway east of Los Angeles yesterday. Here's ABC's James Walker.
The pickup truck with suspected illegal immigrants from Mexico led police on a high-speed chase for 70 miles. Outside Los Angeles, the truck pulled over and those in the back took off. As one man tried to get out of the truck, a sheriff struck him repeatedly, even though he did not appear to resist. The beating continued when the man was face down on the ground. A woman who was pulled out by her hair was also hit without apparent provocation. Officials at the Riverside County Sheriff's Department, who watched as the incident was broadcast live from a local television helicopter, quickly suspended the 2 veteran officers.
We were embarrassed at the actions of our officers. We do not approve of the actions that we saw in that videotape, which is what prompted us to begin the investigation as quickly as we did.
Highway Patrol statistics show that after high-speed chases, police with high adrenaline sometimes have trouble refraining from violence.
More than 40% of those suspects are hurt after the pursuit has concluded.
Today, Latinos demonstrated outside the federal building, and calls for an investigation also came from Mexico.
This is quite clear, a deep violation of human rights. And it is also a criminal act.
White House officials have ordered the Justice Department and the FBI to take control of the investigation into possible civil rights abuses. 19 of the 29 people in the truck were captured. Immigration officials say they will be held for questioning about what they saw and then face deportation. James Walker, ABC News, Los Angeles.
In Montana, another day of waiting. Today, the fog around the Freeman compound made it even harder than usual to tell what was happening there. The U.S. Attorney in Billings, Montana, said she thinks progress is being made towards ending the standoff. She did not give any details, but she thought it would end sooner rather than later. In Little Rock, Arkansas today, the man at the very center of the so-called Whitewater trial was on the stand testifying about the President of the United States. David Hale is the independent counsel's chief witness in the trial of 3 former business associates of the Clintons. In the Arkansas Capitol, ABC's Jackie Judd.
Even before David Hale entered the courtroom today to testify that Bill Clinton encouraged him to make an illegal loan, the defendants were attacking Hale's credibility.
I don't think he'll do any damage to us. I think he will be exposed as a liar, and a thief, and a con artist.
On the stand, Hale recalled a meeting he claims to have had with Jim McDougal and then Governor Clinton in 1986. At the time, Hale ran an investment firm that dispersed federal business loans for disadvantaged minorities. Hale said the 3 met in this trailer to discuss how to arrange for Susan McDougal to get one of those loans, even though the government claims she did not qualify. Hale said Mr. Clinton suggested putting up Whitewater land as collateral, but McDougal said it wouldn't be necessary. Later, Hale testified, "The governor said, be sure my name cannot show up on this." And Jim McDougal said, "I've already taken care of that." Hale said he thought the proceeds of the loan were actually intended for Mr. Clinton and Jim McDougal, even though the paperwork would be in Susan McDougal's name. President Clinton, who is expected to testify by videotape later in the trial, has called Hale's allegations, quote, a bunch of bull. The defense called the trial today a political witch hunt.
That's what this trial is all about, is an effort to demean and defame the president. Susan McDougal is not the target of this independent counsel. It's an effort to attack the president, pure and simple.
Prosecutors said early on there are no saints in this case, including David Hale, who already has pleaded guilty to fraud. The defense is expected to remind jurors of all of that when it begins cross-examination. Jackie Judd, ABC News, Little Rock.
There has been another major court ruling today supporting the right to die. A federal appeals court in New York has overturned the state's ban on doctor-assisted suicide, ruling that physicians may prescribe drugs so that mentally competent dying patients can end their own lives. The federal appeals court in San Francisco issued a similar ruling last month. The billionaire Bill Gates is spending some of his fortune on art. Why his collection may cost you money. Right after this.
Maybe it's because their frames are welded instead of bolted. Or because their decks are stamped from a single piece of steel. Or maybe it's the fact that they have the highest resale value in the industry.
Oh, hey, I always wanted one of these. Thanks.
But the truth is, when people are asked what kind of lawn tractor they'd like as a gift,
Happy birthday, Dad.
most say the same thing.
Fibercon or Metamucil? Both give you the same predictable regularity, the same natural action of fiber. So what makes Fibercon different? With Fibercon, I get my fiber in 2 caplets. Fibercon, fiber regularity that's easier to take.
Discover the feeling of Fixodent Fresh. A stronger, longer hold, a more secure, fresh approach to wearing dentures. And the fresh sensation gives you the confidence to live life without limits. Try a fresh approach.
When was the last time you played in the ring? Let your hair go wild. Flexed your muscles to the world. Stayed up past your bedtime. When was the last time you really had fun in a car? Riviera by Buick. Go ahead. Express yourself.
All right, we're going low-fat, fresh turkey, lettuce, tomato on wheat. What? No Best Foods?
Now you can eat low-fat and still have great taste with Best Foods low-fat mayonnaise dressing. It tastes so delicious you won't believe it has only 1 gram of fat.
What? No Best Foods?
Best Foods low-fat mayonnaise dressing.
Bring out the best foods and bring out the best.
Tonight on Nightline, a priceless medieval manuscript hidden for centuries, but now a symbol for a war-torn city, searching for hope. The quest for the Sarajevo Haggadah. on Nightline tonight.
We can give you a vision of the future tonight for a price. The billionaire chairman of the Microsoft Corporation, Bill Gates, has a new project. Mr. Gates announced today that he has acquired the right to reproduce electronically using computers some of the world's most stunning photographs. In this case, the work of the legendary nature photographer Ansel Adams. With this acquisition, Mr. Gates adds another gem to an already enormous collection. Here's ABC's Ken Kashiwahara.
Last October, when Bill Gates spent millions of dollars to buy the Bettman Archive, he acquired the largest collection of historical photographs in the world. Over the last 6 years, he has also bought the electronic rights to some of the world's most famous paintings, signing licensing agreements with museums around the world, from the Hermitage in Russia to the National Gallery in London to the Philadelphia Art Museum. The agreements give Gates, through his private company Corbis, the right to convert the paintings and photographs into digital images that can be transmitted by computer. He wants Corbis to become the world's preeminent digital archive.
The purpose of the archive is to capture the entire human experience throughout history.
For example, in 5 or 10 years, a high school student might need a picture to illustrate a term paper. He or she could simply dial into the internet, download the image, and through some sort of mechanism, pay for it. That could create a market of millions of consumers, a market Corbis could dominate. Gates himself declined to be interviewed for this report, and Corbis won't say how much money it is spending. But each computer image costs about $25 to create. And the company is moving so rapidly, some in the photographic and arts world wonder whether one man with millions to spend is cornering the market.
If you amass too much control, it reduces competition. And somewhere down the road, if you can eliminate the competition, you're in control, both of what the items you sell cost and what you pay for them.
But museums that sell their rights to Corbis aren't complaining. They receive royalties on whatever Corbis sells. And individual photographers benefit too. Roger Resmeyer turned over his entire collection of photographs to Corbis for an advance payment on future royalties. He believes photographers can't lose.
This isn't a scary thing. This isn't Orwellian. This isn't Big Brother. This is something that's going to benefit them for the long haul.
As for Bill Gates, all he says he wants to do is make the pictures and paintings more accessible to the public at a reasonable price. Ken Kashiwahara, ABC News, Bellevue, Washington.
On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrials gained nearly 34 points to close at 5671. On the NASDAQ market, stocks gained more than 4 points. Big question overseas today: has somebody tampered with the evidence? David Rode, a young American reporter who first discovered evidence of the mass graves near Srebrenica in Bosnia, eastern Bosnia to be specific, returned to the site today and tells us that he believes the site has been disturbed, the ground overturned. Investigators from the International War Crimes Tribunal will be inspecting the site tomorrow. We shall perhaps know more. A tale of modern medicine, a new solution when the doctor is out of reach. Right after this.
Monday, I soak my dentures.
I use DentuCream.
Tuesday, I brush.
I use DentuCream.
Wednesday,
Stop. Just use DentuCream. Its special stain fighters clean much better than soaps, and it's got minty mouthwash ingredient. All you need is DentuCream.
Introducing the Olive Garden's new Italian surf and turf. Butterflied shrimp baked with a hearty Italian stuffing. Steak grilled Tuscan style and spicy linguine fra diavolo with 3 breadsticks and super salad. Just $12.95. Only at the Olive Garden.
Take a good look through Transitions lenses. The lightweight plastic prescription lenses with a special tint that lightens and darkens as the light changes. Lightweight plastic lenses that darken and lighten just like that. It's comfort you can see day or night, outside or inside. Ask for Transitions lenses.
Call 1-800-680-6700 for the Transitions Lenses Eye Care professional near you.
Anne's one of my clients. She likes to hear details and specifics, hates getting summaries. Has finally learned how to leave the office at the office. Believes in buying stocks for the long term. Misses her kids, but not enough to want them to move back home. Knowing Anne the way I do helps me know which investments make sense for her.
Hello?
What in tarnation?
Morning. I'm here to prove nobody kills a root like Roundup.
Weed killers are weed killers. I just used one.
Raymond, they only scorch the top. I can still see all the roots.
You can?
Yep, Shitty is Roundup. It kills the whole weed, including the roots.
It does?
Come on down, see for yourself. Where do the roots go? Weed heaven, Raymond.
On the American agenda tonight, the doctor's house call of the 21st century. Today in Virginia, a gathering called the National Forum on Global Telemedicine has been held to chart the growth of a new frontier in healthcare delivery. You and your doctor do not need to be in the same room, the same state, or for that matter on the same continent. Our agenda reporter, Kevin Newman, begins in rural America.
There was a time in this remote corner of North Carolina when getting sick or hurt was almost always serious. That's because the nearest hospital is an hour's drive away, and local doctors are scarce.
Slow breath, okay?
Frightened away by the personal and professional isolation.
I mean, it is scary in a sense to try to provide care for patients in a rural area like that sometimes and being isolated.
That looks excellent. That's very good.
But Dr. Domingo Quays and his patients' fears are eased since the development of telemedicine.
What is your magnification now?
Take, for example, the worries of a new mother, 22 weeks into a high-risk pregnancy.
Take a look at the cerebellum, that area.
By using telemedical technology, Dr. Quay can transmit the ultrasound image of the fetus through high-speed phone lines to a booth 50 miles away at East Carolina University Medical Center.
Looks pretty good. I'd like to get a real good four-chamber view, though.
There, a specialist sees the image, supervises the examination, and evaluates the results.
The fetal heart structures were excellent, and we could see the ventricles very clearly.
For Dr. Quay, telemedicine provides the knowledge of a senior colleague without leaving the community, which in turn brings reassurance and better care for his patients.
In other words, someone that lives in a rural area now can have the same type of services provided to them that they would if they lived in a big city.
Take a deep breath, Miss Holiday, and force it out real hard.
5 rural communities in eastern North Carolina have telemedical links.
A couple deep breaths then, maybe?
Which cost about $100,000 to establish.
Yeah, good.
It's one of 50 projects nationwide funded and studied by government to see if telemedicine can deliver better, cheaper health care.
Okay, I'm picking up a clear chest.
Yes, right. Sounds perfectly clear in the heart as well. This is just becoming realistic now.
Already, less expensive prototypes are under development in university labs like David Balch's.
This does better what our $100,000 suites do now.
And how much does this cost?
And this is about $20,000.
But as the costs drop, alarms are being raised about the potential abuse of the technology as it expands. Medical boards in 5 states have imposed restrictions on the use of telemedicine across state lines without a local doctor present. They're concerned that if patients can link directly with out-of-state doctors, there's no way of ensuring the doctor at the end of the camera is qualified.
It ends up almost being a buyer beware situation. We believe that there has to be some registration and licensure by the board in where the patient lives in order to make certain that the patient is adequately protected.
Telemedicine advocates suggest state medical boards are bowing to pressure by local doctors afraid of losing income.
I'm going to try and focus in on the membrane for you.
In North Carolina, though, telemedicine has become a way to reassure local doctors.
I'm just getting the edge of the canal.
A way of bringing better medical care closer to people who need it.
Yeah, okay.
This is Kevin Newman for the American Agenda.
And now we take you briefly to the benefits of low-tech healthcare. A study in this week's Journal of the American Medical Association has confirmed what many of us have been confident about for a long time, the benefits of canine companionship. This study involved dogs like these, specially trained to help people confined to wheelchairs get around. After some months with the dogs, the human's self-esteem rose, and so did their general psychological sense of well-being. With my dog, said one, I feel safe and capable. I am no longer afraid of the future. Amazing. One of the world's most famous politicians says he is broke. He's the one in the limousine right after this.
Nobody does it like you, the way that you do. Hoover, nobody does it like you.
If I
I'd taken Advil instead of Tylenol, I could have avoided a lot of pain. It was my daughter, Amy. She's a doctor, who told me 2 Advil handle tough pain better than any 2 Tylenol. Advil just works better.
Advanced medicine for pain.
What should you do when a simple anti-wrinkle cream is no longer enough? Look for the most advanced products. L'Oreal has created Plenitude Revitalift, double performance anti-wrinkle plus firming care. With Pro-Retinol A, Revitalift reduces the appearance of wrinkles. Your skin will look smoother. With Paralasto, Revitalift increases skin's firmness. You'll see firmer skin. See results in just 1 week. New Plenitude Revitalift from L'Oreal reduces the signs of aging.
School was a nightmare.
I mean, math was just probably the hardest subject. I would have to read everything over and over again.
My grades were so bad, they took me off the team.
I got all frantic-y.
I was always behind.
I thought I was pretty dumb.
That's when I called Sylvan. Sylvan was the answer.
I love it.
It all came together at Sylvan.
Now I get A's, straight A's.
I'm back on the team.
I know I can do it.
Sylvan was worth every penny.
I think I'm a pretty smart kid.
Sylvan Learning Center. Call 1-800-EDUCATE today to be connected to the center nearest you. That's 1-800-EDUCATE.
I'm Steve Dunn. News of the Northwest is next. Pink Slips went out to hundreds of Portland teachers today. We'll tell you what many are doing to find a new future. And is Major League Baseball coming to Portland? Get the scoop next on Channel 2 News.
Finally this evening, another chapter written in the legendary life of Lech Wałęsa, the man who rose from electrician in a Polish shipyard to become the president of Poland and then lost the presidency and is now back in the shipyard. ABC's Richard Gisbert reports from the Polish city of Gdansk.
Not everybody could get away with this on their first day on the job. Show up in a limousine, bring a bunch of friends, punch in, have your time card put on parade, stay only a couple of hours, do not a stitch of work, then announce you want time off next week for a speaking tour of the U.S. Lech Wałęsa, electrician turned labor leader turned president, went back to his old workshop today, saying he has his tools and wants to work again. Officially, we'll call him Mr. President, his new boss says, but here at work, it's Lech. Wałęsa insists this is no publicity stunt.
I have no income. I lost my job. I need the work to support my family.
Wałęsa gets no presidential pension. He hopes the sight of an ex-head of state doing manual labor will shame the new government into giving him one. The government does give him bodyguards who make more than his new wage of $250 a month. One of his best friends, who already has Wałęsa's new overalls and work boots ready, thinks his return will be demeaning. He shouldn't come back, he says. After all, he was president of a nation of 40 million. Lech Wałęsa has returned to a shipyard that, for all its historical significance, is in deep economic trouble. The same workers who once followed him out on strike are now counting on him to save their jobs. The shipyard is saddled with bad management, old technology, huge debts, and could soon close down. Desperate workers call Wałęsa their last hope. It's a good thing he's coming back, they say. He could actually save the shipyard. It was here at Gdansk that Wałęsa began the movement that toppled communism. So no one can blame workers here for expecting another miracle. But once he wins the pension that most Poles think he deserves, Lech Wałęsa and his limousine are expected to punch out of the shipyard once again, this time for good. Richard Gisbert, ABC News, Gdansk.
That's our report on World News Tonight. Don't forget Nightline later. I'm Peter Jennings. Have a good evening and good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
ABC Tuesday, a parent's worst fear.
I feel that he is my dog.
Serious help needed here.
She sleeps under the covers with us.
We go out to the herb patch and have a little catnip together.
I would do anything to keep her happy.
PetSmart has thousands of things to keep your pet happy for less.
But mostly her breath stinks.
We can help with that, too.